I'm Andrew Polinski, 25 years old. In 1994, my mom, I can remember it like it was yesterday really, was arrested. And at that time there was no contact with my biological father, and so I was placed with my biological grandmother, my mom's mom. And I lived there for 6 months with my younger brother. My grandmother then had a heart failure and went to have her second bypass surgery, and at that time she had determined that she could no longer take care of me and my brother, and she placed us with the Tennessee Children's Home. When I entered the Tennessee Children's Home, I was first put into the West Tennessee Children's Home. I was there for a month or two, not very long, and then I was put with a temporary foster home, and then I was moved a couple times. So I can remember being at the Children's Home, and then I was then with another family with my brother. While I was with that family, we were then split, and I was put with another family in Kenton, Tennessee. And then after that, I went from Kenton, Tennessee to Obion County with the foster parents that I would have for the next 12 years. My foster parents are Mike and Paula McCage from Obion County, Tennessee. They live in Troy, Tennessee, members of the Troy Church of Christ. My mom works for a law firm, and my dad, he currently is the captain of the prison in Northwest Tennessee. So as you can probably know, he was very strict. My biological family is is in touch with me. We just currently are not having contact. I got in touch with my mom, and I tried that right out of high school when I turned 18. She actually was the one that initiated the contact, and that went well for a little bit, but then it kind of took a turn for the worse, and so I ended up cutting out the contact with her. My dad, who currently lives in Dixon, Tennessee, we've had contact, but as of late we haven't been in contact. He has a family as well as I'm getting set, so right now we haven't had contact, but I have been in contact with them. Favorite thing that I would have to say about the Tennessee Children's Home is the initiative that they had to help me in different things, and a lot of that is to be put with Jonathan and the counselors that the Children's Home did have. Jonathan was my caseworker at the time, and he stuck with me through all the times that I was moved from one home to another, and then he was also with me all the way until about the age of 15 or 16. When he thought that I was good to go on my own, he then went to other adventures of his own, but we still have contact. I actually went to school with his daughter, and we got to know each other very well, and I still contact Jonathan when I need something, and then also the occasional Christmas card. So my least favorite thing was not necessarily about the Children's Home. It was the time that I spent from about the age of 9 until 12 doing counseling. The first part of that was probably helpful and very proactive. Eventually though, it got to where I was being turned from one counselor to another, as exactly like I'd previously been put from one home to another, and so that was my least favorite. I remember, just like I remember Jonathan, I had my very first counselor was Sue Peak, and I talked to her a lot, but once she left for personal reasons, I then kind of got closed off again, because the counselors and the counseling that I kept getting was just, I would go in there and it'd be somebody new, and I just didn't open up to them. So for probably the last year and a half, I didn't enjoy that at all. And at first going into the counseling, it was very hard for me to go in there to open up to talk to someone that hadn't been there. So from the foster home to where I am now, so my foster family is still my family. They're the grandparents of the little girl, and we spend our Thanksgiving and our Christmas holidays there. That's who I consider as my family. So there's not really a gap, but if you would consider the time between me leaving foster care and what I did in that time, obviously when I was 17 I graduated high school, and I I went to the university. I went to Freed-Hardeman for a semester. Then from there, I left and went to University of Tennessee at Knoxville, and graduated from there with a degree in sociology and a minor in business. From there, I then came back to the Nashville area to be closer to my foster family, be in the area. And my foster sister actually lives in Nashville, so it was family here, and it wasn't a long drive. So that was a big reason that I moved back to Nashville and worked for AT&T for 6-7 months on a direct marketing campaign. And then after that, I didn't like the suit and tie atmosphere day after day, and so I left and went to Amazon to work with them. Currently, I am a floor supervisor for Amazon.com. We run the inbound operations team. We house in Murfreesboro about 9 million units in a warehouse that takes about 1.3 billion square feet. Basically, the gist of my job is to be sure that we always have those items in for customers to order. So I manage the trucks, the routes, and be sure that we're keeping our bins full so that customers can go online and order that product. But at the end of the day, it's 9 million items in the warehouse and they go home. So from there, I just work with people on an individual basis. We have about 60 hourly associates that we manage to be sure that we get those bins full for the customer. My future plans depend on what Amazon does with me. So my goal is to stay with Amazon. I don't plan on leaving the company. We're growing at such a rapid pace that I believe that my future is with them. Now, given where Amazon takes me, I'm not sure, but I do want to be what we classify as our area managers, just continue to step up the ladder. Hopefully at some point becoming a senior ops and then having my own building as a GM. Also in that future plan, I hope to expand my family. I want a boy. I was hoping for a boy first. I didn't get that, but I hope to have a boy. Also, I'm going to finish my master's, or start my master's, and then also get the certifications for supply chain and APEX certification, some Lean Six Sigma, whatever that may be. And then I also want to continue to do charity work. It's one of the big things that I did in high school. It's one thing that me and Kaylin talk about on a regular basis is what type of charities we want to support, and support those charities, but not only support those, but get involved with those. I have already considered it, and I want to. It's just going to be, I think my foster parents did it well. They had 3 kids, and then when their youngest got to be 7th grade, they went and got another child after that, or got a foster child after that. So I think that the age that they did it with the children that they had, they'd already raised their own children. They knew how to raise their children, and so obviously they had experience. And the age when they got me and my brother, I think it was a good age from there. There's 5 years difference. But it still worked well. I don't know if I'd have a 5-year gap, maybe a 3-year. But my foster dad was also a foster child, so within our foster family, it's something that I want to continue to pass down. He was obviously a boy. They got a boy, and I want to get a boy myself. So to continue that trend. And they also not recently, it's been about 3 years ago, adopted another one of the foster children that they had. Adopted one.
I like a boy too, but I'm enjoying my little girl right now.
This is little Elsie Ray. Say hi. My name's Elsie.
Elsie. She loves her daddy.
She loves her daddy. And she's spoiled rotten by her daddy. That's how it should be. And then this is Kaylin. And Peyton. And this is the babysitter, Peyton. She actually does a fabulous job of babysitting. So
she does.
This is our little family.
This is why he wants a boy, because it's all girls.
It is all girls. It is all girls. So I'm outnumbered tremendously. So without the Tennessee Children's Home, I was on a track that was not going to put me where I was today. I would have been in juvie more than likely. my foster dad tells a story to this day that Jonathan taught the foster class that they attended, and Jonathan gave them all the ideas of what a foster child would do. He would probably set your house on fire. He would set trash cans on fire. He would kick you. He would scream at you. He would do different things that would make you really regret the decision to have foster children. Now, about 3 years after my foster parents got me, that's when Jonathan let them know that this person that he was talking about in that class was me. So Jonathan coming into my life and then my foster parents being put into my life really was able to turn the table as to where I was headed. I had a lot of anger issues, a lot of aggression. I had no stability. And so with Jonathan, like I said, coming into my life from the Tennessee Children's Home, he gave me that stability. And then my foster parents, whom the Children's Home was able to teach and give lessons to and prepare for the adventure that they were about to be taking on by a 7-year-old. They hung in there, they pushed forward. There's times that my dad still says that he wanted to give up, but he didn't. And so that has transpired me into the man that I am today, and has given me the reason for this little girl to raise her in a completely different light, and then for my foster family to continue the relationship that I have with them. So the advice that I would give to someone that is entering foster care, no matter the age, as I did at the age of 7, but I think it could go with whatever age, is to go in with looking for that stability. I think that was the biggest thing for me, was the stability, finding that one thing that was always there and building off of that. So for me, Jonathan was my stability. He went with me everywhere. It doesn't have to be a person, it can just be a habit, it could be a hobby, it could be something that you just enjoy doing. From there, mine was able to build. With Jonathan being my stability, I went from there to finding a hobby, which was then football, and it was a way that I was able to channel my aggression, and that also helped me. So like I said, whether it be a hobby or whether it be a person, you can always find that stability within yourself, and then also to have the faith within yourself, to know that you don't have to be a statistic. People prove statistics wrong every day, and statistics are there just because somebody collected data. You can be the data to collect on the other end of the spectrum and show everyone that, hey, just because we were dealt a bad set of cards, we can always come out on top. For me, that was my biggest thing, is I just didn't want to be a statistic, and I found the stability, and so it gave me the determination to continue to go on.
And this little critter over here is what's making noise. Say hi. Hi. What are you doing? What are you doing? Huh?